Welcome to the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. I am Jack Minogues.
And I'm Brian Hines.
Today we are getting into all the action from OVW Rise 1285, emitting live originally from historic Davis Arena on March 28th, 2024. But as always, here's a little at the top of the show here. Some news updates, Brian Hines.
Let's see. First off, this past week we released the Comic-Con special, which was largely a lot of interviews that I did with people on the fly
The
during
Brian
all
Hines
of
show.
the
Great
chaos
job on that, by the way, Hans.
that is Lexington City Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Different, and I love the ambiance. Loved like you guys getting out there is different than what we've done here in our interview segments in the past.
It must have hit pretty well because I got a text from my mom who said that she listened to it and she was really impressed. So thanks, Mom. I appreciate that. That's exactly what I needed to hear.
And after listening to it to the very end, my short interview with Tony Evans, glad that I didn't have that microphone in my face longer that day. Glad that you were doing a lot of lifting that day, Brian Hines.
It wasn't the easiest, but we managed.
And up next we have Orion.
I'm really looking forward to this because this was a very intense interview. Probably the most intense interview we've had with any of the OVW stars.
Yeah, this one dates back to that huge marathon day that we had around here where we were just interviewing people for hours and hours and hours. I'm really looking forward to going back and hearing those as they're coming out. Because I don't remember a lot from that day. It was when I say marathon.
Yeah.
You guys literally interviewed all comers. It was great.
I was just talking to somebody about that earlier, and we had probably 8 to 10 guys from OVW here, and we were hanging out, and there were tacos, and we were watching the most recent episode, and when we weren't doing that, we were being chased up and down the halls by ZDP and interviewing.
Yeah, that was the interview that didn't work out so well.
Yeah, that one didn't work out so well. But we're hoping that at some point we will be able to get a word with him other than
No, that was just like such a surreal day as like a podcast thing.
It really was.
Just something I never thought was going to happen when we started this thing.
No, not even close.
There's like a half a dozen wrestlers here. They're just wandering the hallways.
Just hanging out.
Talking to each other about, backstage politics, on mat politics, the matches happening themselves. It's just like as a wrestling fan, you thought you got an insight into OVW on this documentary, on the Wrestlers documentary. Try feeding these guys for an hour and letting them watch the most recent episode of everything.
And just don't say a word. Just sit in the back and just
sit and watch.
I probably doubled my wrestling knowledge that day alone. Just sitting in there.
We were fortunate enough to be under a not just a learning tree, a learning forest pretty much.
Learning rainforest, just dense.
The only thing I regret from that day is I forgot to bring my shirt because everybody who was here for an interview, I always get those folks to sign my own personal shirt in addition to the board that we have back here. Mm-hmm. So I'm like 5 people down now. I need to get Donovan Cecil and Orion and Jack Vaughn. And, God, there were so many people. I don't even remember everybody from that day.
And if you were wondering, just for frame of reference, you live very close to where we record this. And you didn't even have enough time to run across the street to grab the shirt to get it signed. That's how busy we were that day.
Yeah.
It was quite the day.
It was crazy.
You guys will be have enjoyed some of the fruits of our labors. Will continue to enjoy the fruits of our labors of that Monumentous Day here with Orion in this podcast feed on Thursday. So we've got a few headlines from this week. If you are listening to this on Tuesday morning, April 2nd, and you have not heard, then OVW will be doing their live show from Davis Arena tonight.
It's
not
an April Fool's joke, folks.
No, this is the real deal, and we suspect that has to do with the really big show next weekend.
We can say WrestleMania, guys.
Yeah, it's Mania.
It's Mania week. We're going to talk.
Baby.
We may even do a whole special of just us all talking about WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, I am going to watch. So.
Yes, I'm even going to watch.
I might. Here's the thing: is I think that we're getting to the point where I'm going to have to assume some responsibility over the Instagram. Not mostly. I just want to have the capability to go live. I love cooking for pay-per-views. Sunday night, Cody Rhodes, hopefully in the main event, WrestleMania Sunday night too. I'm willing to go on Instagram and show everyone what I've cooked that night.
Well, if you want to see Jackman live on our Instagram or maybe even our TikTok,
that'll be our little tie-in to WrestleMania.
And we do know we love to talk food around here. We haven't talked food in too long. It's been a while since we talked about food. If I'm saying we haven't talked about food in long enough,
I'll go on live after the main event either way and give you guys, if good, bad, or otherwise, my reaction to it. Actually, let's do that. I've not done that by myself. We'll work that out.
Yeah, we can get you access to the Instagram.
And I definitely want it when we go to when I go to these upcoming shows in Nashville, or upcoming show in Nashville as part of the Dan Knows National Tour. What are some of the, we've been saying this all over. They've got Appalachian
You said you
Wires.
had an update about.
I got that. They've got the. I'll be going to the one in Nashville, which is why I'll need the Instagram information that weekend. But they've got one at Appalachian Wires Arena in Pikeville, August 31st. Longport, Indiana, June 1st. Des Plaines, Illinois, May 31st. Run for the Roses is April 26th. That Nashville show is April 26th. And May 2nd, OVWW crosses live from the Kentucky Derby Festival with a Pegasus pin. That will get you in. That will be on pay-per-view.
And we do, in fact, have Pegasus pins, gentlemen.
We do?
Pegasi pinna. Yes.
So I did want to say here that I do have a quick... I was able to read more about Ultra Pro Wrestling over...
Oh, yeah. Let's hear your update on that. OVW coming as a DLC for Ultra Pro Wrestling.
Small, but I think significant. This is a video game that I've been hearing about for a long time. They've been trying to put this together for a long time. It is kind of like supposed to be, from my understanding, like the indie video game. Kind of focusing a lot more on like independent wrestlers than maybe older superstars or what have you. Davis Arena will be a playable arena.
Well, that's pretty great.
They will have modern and classic OVW wrestlers to choose from.
Cool.
Awesome.
They will be using the actual music that you hear on television for the OVW wrestlers.
So when Freya comes in, we'll hear that classic the cracking of ice.
Yeah, so I just think that's a cool little update because we were a little sparse on information last week. So those are my kind of takeaways from this past week, being able to read more about Ultra Pro Wrestling, and did want to mention that here.
Really, my only question is, do we get like Brian Kennison reacting to when you pull off a good move? Do we get Brian Kennison and maybe Shannon the Dude doing voiceovers?
I didn't read anything about that, but this game is very ambitious. I will say that much. This game is very, very, very ambitious.
Frankly, this was when we started getting into this, I was like, where can I go play a video game with OVW characters? And it was nowhere. So I'm so glad to hear this is coming. I really am. We're going to play the crap out of this one.
Can't wait to see what that modern and classic lineup looks like. Just curious on who's going to be showing up in that. Our coverage of OVW Overdrive continues this week, with Tiny Brian and Victor. You produce on that show, so you're in that show to some capacity as well, Brian Hines.
Slightly, yes.
That'll be out on Fridays going forward, just so you're aware, just because there's simply not enough hours in the week to get it out any earlier. So, yes, the Tuesday show, we will have our coverage out on Fridays. And then, of course, we continue...
Squared Circle Expo was this last weekend in Indianapolis, featuring many OVW stars, and there's actually a match there. Did I have that right?
There may have been more than one, but there's one that had... Yeah, there's a couple different people, OVW stars who had matches, but very specifically there was a number one contenders match. And we'll get into specific... for one of the OVW titles, and we'll get into it specifically a little later on.
That's cool that they're having... Squared Circle Expo is huge.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I've always wanted to go.
Squared Circle Expo is giant, so it's cool not only that they were able to go there, have an event there, but, I love that kind of, if you're an OVW fan, pay attention to OVW even when it's not on TV, because you never know what's going to happen. I love that unpredictability and how OVW is, especially now that they've been running more house shows, is employing that. Love that.
Making them have actual consequences and stakes. Al Snow was there as the newest Rockers.
Yeah, him and Cow Hero, I believe.
Yeah, he was Leaf somebody.
Leaf.
Erickson. Garrett.
No, Cassidy.
Yep, that's it. Leaf Cassidy
would be his rocker's name. Yes. We'll get into all the action from last Thursday right after this.
Oh, hey folks, Tiny Brian here, and how's everybody doing? Good. Listen, I know what you're expecting. A certain podcast with me and a certain person who I co-host the Overdrive coverage with, but no, surprise, that's not happening. I'm going to use this spot. See, this is the only spot in the show that's just mine. It's only for me. This is where I get to talk, and so I'm going to say something, and y'all don't tell anybody, okay? This is just you and me talking. Jackman and Brian, they're staring at their belly buttons or something. Malachi's watching a game or something. So y'all just it's just me and you just here together. So listen, something's coming. We're not going to announce it yet, but there's something big coming. OVW podcast. Big things are coming. Watch this space. I'll have more things to say soon. But don't tell anyone. This is just between you and me. And now back to the OVW podcast, already in progress.
Welcome back to the OVW podcast. I'm Brian Hines, and I'm a little creeped out right now.
Yeah, that was way more. My name is Jack Minox, and that was way more ominous than it needed to be.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys weren't paying attention to any of that.
Yeah, we were. There's no way we could not pay attention to it, being that we're wearing headphones that your voice pipes directly into.
He's right, actually. Malachi installed a button underneath here, so whenever he tries to produce me and I don't want to listen to it, I just hit the button.
It's like a reverse talk back.
Yeah, and I just don't. I just go, oh, you're coming through a little staticky, Brian. I can't really hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, sketch number 1 here behind.
Right off the bat, we get hit with some bad news, and there is some security footage of Cashflo leaving the class that he was teaching on Monday night.
OVW Academy.
Was it Monday?
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday.
At
Okay,
OVW
that's
Academy,
right.
yeah.
At OVW Academy. As we all know, he is the beginners coach or the beginners teacher for the OVW Academy. And on his way home after teaching his class on Wednesday, he was jumped by the masked men in the parking lot.
Do we think they were concerned because he was like taking up 2 parking spots?
He did. The way they had it was kind of a piss poor parking job. But I don't think that's Cash's fault. I think that somebody moved his car or something like that.
That's the thing. I had some questions here myself. I feel like, that's perfect. He's backed in. He's kind of at an angle. I feel like you get in the car,
rock and roll.
You're out of there. We need to get Cash in a defensive driving course. That was my takeaway from this segment. No. This kind of obviously implies that Cashflo will not be ringside. I guess this implies implications for later on.
He wasn't there at all.
He had a match booked against Omar Mia.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
and Shera had to come out and do it. Just so tonight, gentlemen, you can kind of react to this. Beaches and Cream have scheduled a funeral for the Golden Lions.
I saw that, and I cannot wait for that because I'm sure that is going to be something.
Who's doing the eulogy?
They haven't. I keep
I think
hoping they'll
Reverend
ask me.
I think it would be awesome if he was still there. If Reverend Ronnie would do it, but he's not there anymore, so I don't know who it would be.
I have some concerns about the eulogy. Bout 1, non-title match, of course, between Cal Hero and Justice Davis. Nice to see Justice Davis back. He is kind of a guy that we had grown used to, it semes, maybe in December and January of this year.
Yeah, we had seen him quite a bit, but he hadn't been around for a while, so he was there first thing, top of the show with Country Boy Brewing media champion Cal Hero.
Yeah, nice, Cal Hero... opening match of the night, non-title match. Kind of just here, I think, to reestablish Justice Davis in the minds of the OVW crowd, because he was getting quite a bit of traction.
He was for a while, and then
people liked the Iceman.
He just wasn't around. Yeah, and I mean he's a strong enough competitor and all that, but the whole tapping my wrist thing, I automatically think heroin every single time.
Yeah, every time
I know
he does
that's
that,
horrible.
I'm like, I'm gonna shoot up and then hit this this finishing move.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is not a good character.
So in my head, like he instead of the Iceman, I just kind of call him Smack.
Well, I don't know. People like the Iceman. Cal Hero takes the victory here. First sketch of the night. We kind of can't really do.
What I wish we could do, or I guess we could rewind and we could kind of like Mad Lib, because there's no audio in this Bad
You didn't
Girl
hear
sketch.
audio either, did you?
No.
Okay, good to hear.
No, I went back and watched this right after we got home on Thursday, and the audio was out for half of it, and then I went back to watch it again today, and I forgot about that fact, and it's like, what the hell's going on with my computer? Did I turn the sound off, which I often do when we're doing the podcast, because we watch along at like 1.5 speed, like 150% of real time, or whatever you want to call it.
And I think I heard it in the arena.
Yes.
Did you?
I remember it being on.
Going back, and I couldn't really. It was spotty on the playback.
It weirdly that there'll be another women's sketch further down the line, and it is also muted. So I don't know what's going on with production there at OVW, but that is just not a good look.
So these unfortunate kind of in and out with these video and audio issues.
Unforced errors.
Yeah, the show's better than ever. The arena looks better than ever, and unfortunately on live television, like, this is just what happens. But we know that there's a ton of work that's been done there. We know that it's not like they're unaware.
Right.
It's not like they're unaware, but I'm sure it'll get addressed very soon. About two of the night, Brian Hines.
About two of the night is the ZDP, my favorite devil, demon, zombie.
Everybody at OVW's favorite devil, demon, zombie.
Right?
How is it when he lost his faction, when he no longer had someone reining him in, he got so over?
I don't know, but like it just fascinates me that the kids especially love him, and even the ones that are scared of him still love him. We were second row on the hard cam side, and that little girl refused to look around at him during the match, and I said, "You want to know a secret?" And she said, "What?" And I said, "He looks scary, but he's actually really nice." And she looked at me, and she said, "Really?"
That was
Yeah. He is. He's really nice.
Yeah, there was a family in front of us.
It was their first time at Davis Arena.
Was it their first time?
They were right. Yeah. They got every ounce of action. They were 6 feet away from the ring. They were right on the front row.
Sometimes I think I was because those of you who have seen me at Davis Arena know that I'm not a quiet person at Davis Arena, and I think I was disturbing the little girl a little bit, but so I kind of had to balance it. But yeah, it was great to see brand new people watch the show and get excited for the first time, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it does kind of, at this point, this is somewhat of a job to us, and it does always kind of put things into perspective, whenever you get to experience something like that.
Oh, speaking of, while we're on the subject.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week because we forgot to mention this. So this is pretty important. This is past business. In the parking lot of Davis Arena on the day that we did the Cashflo interview back in January, I found this tiny blue Tyrannosaurus Rex. And I just wanted to let whoever may be the owner of this know that your T-Rex is safe. And if you're listening to this, or if you see this on video and you can identify this, please let me know and I will return this to you. Otherwise, the T-Rex is going to live here in the studio with the rest of us.
This has been OVW Podcast Lost and Found.
Yeah, it sounds like we're on the stop and swap.
Yeah. I got me a 1967 Harvester. I'd like to trade it for some four-wheeler tires.
I used to do the call-in show Buy a Dog, Sell a Hog in Moorhead, Kentucky, and it was nothing but that for an hour or 2 hours every Monday and Friday night.
Tradio.
It's called the General Store in my hometown.
We called it Tradio back home.
We'll circle back around to this wrestling podcast that we do here. This ZDP and Shane Mercer match
Banger.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's something that I like to call an angle disguised in a match.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the best possible way to do that. This was awesome
Sound
because
like a pig in a
I
blanket?
wanted to see Shane Mercer and ZDP. I wanted to see this match. I wanted to see them wrestle. I wanted to see Shane Mercer do exactly what he did, which was the moonsault and battery with ZDP.
He did 2 curls before he did the moonsault and battery.
But the important thing about Shane Mercer is he's believable enough and has won enough and is such a badass that whenever he beats up a demon into unconsciousness, you buy it. And that's where the match disguised or the angle disguised as a match comes in. Because I really think that this was just for ZDP to get beat bad enough to get carried off at the end.
Correct.
The way that he was. And I guess we'll see what that means for the future of ZDP.
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas from what I've heard from people, but I'm not really privy to say anything. But I'm looking forward to the developments in the in ZDP's story.
We can say that we saw the Doctor, who we've seen before, deal with ZDP arrive. He was in the ring at the end of that match.
He was.
We also saw someone who was not Luke Kurtis's mother, because I could feel the tension of it building up. So I will once again say that lady, while she seems like a wonderful person,
It's very attentive.
very attentive,
Great bedside manner.
absolute great ringside manner, is not Luke Kurtis's mother at all. And we now know Luke Kurtis's mother, and she seems like a lovely person.
She is.
So they are both lovely people. Only one of them is genetically connected to Luke Kurtis.
Match number 3 of the night. Bad Girls Club, this time in the form of Hema, Ellie, and Tiffany versus the... is this the first time we've seen this together? Freya and America's Sweethearts?
As a 3-person
as a
tag
trio,
team,
yeah.
yes. But right before that, they had the other women's sketch.
That was...
That, I mean, you couldn't hear any of the things, but that would have been the first time we heard from Sophia
Yeah,
Rose.
that's how I know we heard these in the arena, because I remember hearing, and because we commented in the moment, that's the first time
yeah.
we've heard Sophia Rose speak
Yeah.
live. That's not on that video they put out for her.
Yeah, and I remember the first sketch, too, because Ellie kind of punctuated it by saying good, in like an aggressive way. And I thought, I remember seeing it in the moment and thinking that both of those sketches were really, really good, and then had trouble, when it came time to review them, accessing them in a fashion that made them easy to review. But that's okay. That's okay. We learn every week. We're getting there. Bad Girls Club, no Layla, versus Freya and America's Sweethearts. Hollywood Haley J on commentary. Really,
This is what we call a powder keg.
yeah, great job out there for Hollywood Haley J on commentary.
Yeah. Yeah.
No surprise there. We've heard her on commentary in the past.
And she was joining Linda Kay and Josh Ashcraft, right? That's the East End villain, Brian. You and Vic the other day called him the West End something, and I was thinking.
Well, when I think of Louisville, like West End is a part of Louisville. I don't think of the East End.
You gotta watch Vic out here. You gotta watch what Vic says out here sometimes. Be saying all kinds of wild stuff.
So this match, I mean, if I was going to pick a match from hour 1, as much as I love ZDP and everybody else who had a match, this was the match of hour 1 for me, because
This trios?
yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
I dig it.
Sophia
I dig it,
Rose
man.
stole the show. I
Yeah,
mean, she was a
as
powerhouse
always.
in the middle of that. I mean, it's amazing to watch these people week after week, and that was one of the things I loved about hitting all the Spot Monkey shows in Southern Ohio. You see the same performers almost every time. I mean, there might be some variation, but you end up seeing a lot of the same faces over and over, and you can see how their skill set grows, their confidence grows, their ability on the mic grows. And it's just one of the really rewarding experiences for me. And we saw Tiffany tear up another sign like she did before.
Classic
And
Tiffany.
she did that in the reel.
Yeah.
I was watching some of those reels from that interview, but she just flat out looked at the camera and said, "I'll do it again. I'll do it again."
Tiffany.
She did.
Tiffany's character stuff recently has been on fire.
Oh, God, I love it.
That's why I really do think that whenever it's going to be so funny, and it's going to be cool because I don't really. OVW was telling these like more complex, like more gray stories. Luke Kurtis and Tony Gunn right now is a great example. We'll get into that later, of course. But like the eventual Layla versus Tiffany, where it's just going to be a race to the bottom. It's not going to be like baby versus heel. It's just going to be like two nasty people doing nasty things. And like I kind of like I think
So it's Seinfeld.
Yeah, well, and like that's what real life is more often than not. You know, you're not always good and you're not always bad. And like sometimes wrestling can be a little black and white in that. And like I really do think that like the babyface Tiffany is just that there's more of the bad people than there is of her. Like, and I love that. Like
She's a babyface by comparison.
Yes, I love it. Like I think it's really great because then whenever that storyline is over, she's going to be able to get slotted either right back into what she was doing, being nasty to somebody else, or people are going to really love her, and she'll be, not that people already don't, but she'll be galvanized in this kind of like nasty character that she has. And I think either one is totally possible, and I think there's not a wrong choice there either.
So they did also in this show, the commentary team mentioned the 4-corner tag team match for the women that is coming at
Double Cross.
Double Cross, yeah, backstab. I was going to call it. They
might as well have called the pay-per-view backstab.
Yeah, that's what's coming. You just got to figure out who's backstabbing whom. But yeah, they've got the Bad Girls Club divided in two. They've got America's Sweethearts, and they've got Freya and Haley in a 4-corner. And then I realized that's only about half of the women that we have now. Mm-hmm. Starting to feel like we have enough for a tag team belt.
This is peak though.
That's getting there.
This is peak. Like that's gonna be really, really, really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really good. They're going to be able to get done in that match 8 months worth of stuff. 8 months worth of stories. It's going to be great. It's going to be really great. I'm really excited about that one. Really excited about kind of the next, 2 pay-per-view cycles in OVW in general, because there's a lot sitting on the table right now. Mm-hmm. We'll probably end up getting into that in a separate podcast eventually.
Yes.
One thing I would like to note during this match, that this is the 3rd week in a row in the chat that a man by the name of John Westbrooks gifted 20 OVW TV memberships.
Shout out to that guy.
Cheers to you for doing the Lord's work. Yeah, exactly.
And those get you what? They get you the pay-per-views and everything.
I think so.
For a month
depending on the level. I mean, I think that the basic level is like $2 a month, but like the championship level is $10.
And
so we're talking anywhere from $40 to $200 every week for the past 3 weeks.
May start to get some exclusive live content in that membership as well at some point.
Yeah, I heard
beyond
that.
Kind of the wrestling events.
You get a if you go for the championship level, you get a free like cameo or something called, don't you? With like Hollywood Haley J.
I don't know. Could be.
I'm almost positive I saw that somewhere, but don't quote me on it. In the middle of that, in the chat, and it hasn't come up here yet, somebody kicks in $10 to buy somebody a beer. And I don't know what that was about, if there was like something on screen that I missed, or if it's an inside joke between a couple of people. But I can't remember who you are because your name isn't up there right now, but I like where your head's at.
Here, the Bad Girls Club end up taking the victory, but there's further tension between Tiffany and Layla. We'll move on.
Yes, Layla comes out to help, but doesn't help so much and kind of annoys Tiffany a little bit.
And Haley jumps down from commentary. It just turns into big snaz time.
Yeah.
We'll take main event hour 1 here, Brian Hines.
The main event of hour 1 is Omar Amir with Luscious Lawrence accompanying him to the ring versus Mahabali Shera, who is filling in for Cashflo, who was assaulted earlier in the program from the previous evening.
Yeah, that's what we saw. As we mentioned at the very top of the show, we saw the security cam footage of Cashflo. Mahabali Shera ends up taking the victory here. Kind of no surprise on that one, I don't think.
It wasn't for lack of trying and a lack of chicanery.
The Golden Lions needed the victory back from last week so that we can extend this thing another few weeks or months or however long we're going to extend Golden Lions and Beaches and Cream out. Beaches and Cream, however, did just announce that, I guess, at tomorrow night's show, again, if you're listening to this on a Tuesday morning, the day that it drops, Tuesday,
this will be
April
later
2nd,
this evening, yes.
OVW is recording their what would usually be on Thursday show on a Tuesday. If you're listening to this on April 2nd, OVW will be live tonight. So just a heads up if you missed that earlier.
And general admission tickets are just $5, so come to the Davis Arena and join us.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's great too. Just $5. Just $5. Yeah, I mean
Victor and his whole family are coming because there's no school
for
in Fayette County.
Yeah,
$10. That's tickets and 2 hot dogs, man. You can't beat that.
I'm feeling satisfied already.
he said hot dogs, not Snickers.
I guess though on that Tuesday show, as I was saying, there will be a funeral for the Golden Lions, as we mentioned.
If the image is shared by the official OVW Instagram account can be believed, and I tend to believe them.
So hour one here, we top of the hour, Tony Evans comes out, the ever popular Tony Evans promo here, hitting all the greatest hits.
Yeah, one of my favorites
of the Tony Evans promo. Weird kind of moment here where he says, "I'm not gonna be falling on my back anymore," and people got a little
nervous.
Sad.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, people got a little. There was a palpable, "Oh no," in the air. But of course, it's Tony Evans, and he said, "I'm not gonna be falling on my back anymore because I'm too good, or I don't have to, or
no one can put me on my
nobody
back.
can put me on my
locker.
back, yeah, et cetera, et cetera." But I did want to mention that there was a very obvious, palpable, reaction to from OVW and the Davis Arena faithful to the thought of Tony Evans not being an OVW anymore.
He's an anti-face.
Yeah. So I did want to mention that here, but we should have known it's a Tony Evans promo.
Yeah.
He had a match this evening against the OVW Rush champion Hoda Peso.
Yes, he did, and Hoda looked great as always. Tony
another
Evans,
non-title match, I guess we should clarify.
It was a non-title match.
Well, we do have a number one contender, so you can't really. Kind of got to wait until that match to have other matches for the title.
That's why you shouldn't. That's why you shouldn't sign the contract until the week before the match if we're doing wrestling logic stuff. But that doesn't always happen. But yeah, number one contendership only implies that you have a match down the line. It does not imply who you're going to have the match with. The contract is who you'd be having the match with.
I'm learning things all the time around here.
Well, and I wanted to kind of clarify that here because of the ending of this match.
Absolutely.
Star Rider comes out. Who is the number one contender?
Yes.
Star Rider comes out to help Hoda Pesos, but there's that ever popular botched interference, OVW botched interference. And Tony Evans ends up taking the win here. In my wrestling brain, I wonder why Star Rider was there at all to help Hoda Pesos.
I guess it was just to offset the threat that is
Jay De Niro.
De Niro, yeah.
But so then at that point you have to say, oh well, Star Rider is such a good guy that he's going to potentially give someone an advantage that would be better if he was hurt for Star Rider, right? Like, so Star Rider's just such a good guy that he needs to have like the best match with the best possible Hoda Peso, right? Is that like the thinking, right, of Star Rider and the character in this moment? I guess what I'm trying to get to is that why couldn't we just have a match with Hoda Peso and Star Rider and the stake is the belt, not that Hoda Peso lost a match that didn't mean anything because it was a non-title match to begin with. Because of Star Rider's botched interference. If Star Rider only came out to make the botched interference because he's such a good guy, why not go into the angle? Why not go into the match with both of them just being good guys, just fighting for the belt, just fighting out of respect, just having a wrestling match because wrestling is their job? I'm just a little confused why Star Rider was present here at all. There's my complaint. I haven't had a good one in 3 or 4 episodes, so that's. I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. That's all.
That's a valid point. I hear what you're saying. Understand
it. It's not what I would have done. Not what I would have done. I would have much rather just said, Hoda, you're one of the best wrestlers. Star Rider, you're one of the best wrestlers. Go in, shake hands, have a hell of a match. I don't think you need to have anything. I don't think you need to have a botched interference on top of the prospect of a Star Rider and Hoda Pesos match to sell tickets or to advance the story. I don't know. That's just me complaining about stuff. You want to take us to bout 7 here, the penultimate match of the night?
This one was Carson Drake.
Yeah, it's your turn to talk about Carson Drake.
With Guittari and Shalonce, with tag champ Adam Revolver and Big Zo. So it's Carson Drake, Adam Revolver, and Big Zo. Carson Drake being accompanied by his entourage.
Yeah, his entourage.
Versus Ryan Von Rocket with the Rockettes and Tusks and Chains. Tusk and Chains, which I love that new shirt. As soon as I saw it, I had to go to the merch stand and buy one. It's a little itchy, but I think it's because it's made out of real mammoth wool.
You like that one? Was that a pre-plan? Was that, I gotta ask, was that a pre-planned behind?
That was the first thing that popped. That was the first thing that popped into my head when I wore that shirt the following day. It was a little itchy.
Okay, that's fine. You gotta just send it through the wash once.
And
yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't done laundry.
Endangered species, you can't use their materials, but once they go extinct, you can use whatever you want.
Sure.
This was like a weird match. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like the sampler.
Yeah.
This is a sampler match where you get like just 2 teams, 3 random people on each team, or in this case, it's a tag team with Ryan Von Rocket. But the other side, it's like just a hodgepodge of the heels, hodgepodge of heels.
Well, and Big Zo hasn't really been a heel for.
Not really.
Not
he's
really.
He's actually.
They were just walking through the locker room and said, "Hey, bro, you got anything to do?" He said, "No." He said, "Yeah, I would like to get in a wrestling match tonight."
Hey, man, you got like 20 minutes to spare, maybe?
Yeah. Well, he's like, "Yeah, I would like to get in a wrestling match tonight." That's why you always got to bring your bag.
Yeah.
You always got to bring your gear.
Bomir got stuck at customs or something.
Yeah. Hey, that might actually be it. That might have been, some sort of travel issue or something, because Bomir would have been the likely person here in this match. But you never know. It's hard.
Instead,
we all have life outside of this thing.
Yeah.
So, the heels take the victories here.
Unfortunately, this time, yes. I was really looking forward to seeing the offense that we've grown accustomed to from Tusks and Chains, but we didn't really get that this week, and I was a little disappointed.
I think we had bigger things going in the main event of the night. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there were big things on the horizon.
I think that match was fun. I think that it's always fun to see pretty much everyone in this match. I mean, we like to joke and we like to kid and whatever, but this is on paper a very, very sound group of performers.
Sure.
But
in the moment, I thought Ryan Von Rocket and the Rockettes blended very well with Tusks and Chains.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of that 2 great tastes that taste great together kind of situation.
Yeah, everybody was kind of glitterific.
It looked like Spirit Week 80s Day at a high school on that side of
They were just all spirit sticks.
Yeah, it looked like Vintage Day or whatever at the sorority house on that side of
I was taking a drink when you said that, and you just about ended up wearing that Coke Zero that I just
is it my size?
Yeah.
Main event of the night here. This is the match everybody came to see. That's one of my favorite things, by the way, on Saturday Night Live when they introduce the musical guest. They go, "Oh, the person that you came to see," like any of those celebrities are humble. Mm-hmm. Oh no, the person you really came to see. Imagine Dragons.
No, I have a movie.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, no, the person you came to see, Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah, like any person that hosts Saturday Night Live is humble. No, seriously, I know that I'm here, but the person you came to see. Seriously, though, the match that everybody came to see, Luke Kurtis versus incoming, I guess, challenging Luke Kurtis against the incumbent heavyweight champion, Tony Gunn.
This was an excellent match. This was a hell of a match.
This is one of those matches that comes along every couple of months in OVW that is just like pitch perfect. I had my issues with the pay-per-view ending. Would have loved Luke to get, and Tony for that matter. I would have gone with a double pin at the pay-per-view. Would have loved to get, just because I thought that would have been a great moment to end that pay-per-view on. However, having this match come soon afterwards. It's one of those that I look at the clock because, we have about till
25 till.
And it's 25 till, and you know that you're about to get
A slobber
yeah,
knocker.
you're about to get just
barn burner.
a great match. Man. I think that also, too, these guys, Luke really does, like, have an amateur style to him that I always find, like, super duper entertaining. Just like how his takedowns are so quick, and he stays so low to the ground, and his footwork is so natural. And he really, really, really was on full display for this match. And then Tony Gunn kind of comes in. He's the seasoned veteran, just perfect styles clash. Just two guys, too, that the arena had trouble choosing between.
Yeah.
Would you call this a true face versus face match, like Hogan Ultimate Warrior?
No, because I just think that I said it last week. It's not baby and it's not heel. It's just certified. Like, he got his babyface moment tonight, but like, what's he gonna be next week? I don't know. Like, that's one of the best parts about watching this guy over the last couple of months.
What's he going to be like next time? He's
Yeah.
going to be champion.
He's gonna be champion, but he's
Certified champion.
He's gonna be
Yes.
certified every week. There is no.
I guess when I think of babyface, I think of the crowd is cheering for him.
Yeah, I guess maybe in that way for sure, definitely.
Yeah, I'm
But-
not talking about a character point of view, just in terms of crowd acceptance, because it was literally going click, click, boom, certified, back and forth in the moment. I was there doing some of it.
I'm really, really glad to report back after last week. My prediction last week was that we were going to go to a no finish on this.
I'm glad you were wrong.
I'm very, very, very glad I was wrong. To be in that arena, not only get to see this great match, 25 minutes, some of the best wrestling I've ever seen live in my life.
Yeah.
Just a pure, what wrestling is in my mind, single, no stipulation. Both guys want to be there because both guys want to be the champion. I love big stipulation matches. I love people bleeding and getting hit with kendo sticks and jumping off of ladders. Like, I love all of that. But, like, at the end of the day, these are the matches when they're done right that I remember more than those big kind of, extravaganza matches. I get more emotionally invested in a singles match than I do those big extravaganza matches. And this will go down for me as one of the best matches that we've seen in OVW, not only for the match itself, the ring work, but that moment where Luke Kurtis is Don champion. On his
Let's
knees,
go ahead and skip
looking
ahead.
at the belt.
We'll skip to that.
The match, the show ends, with him on his knees with the belt. Great visual, but the win wasn't that straightforward. The win wasn't as straightforward as I just painted it.
Unfortunately, no, it was not. That would have been epic if it was. That really would have made it like one of the best matches I've ever seen. If it would have been a clean win, I guess, as it were. But
I don't think, and I want to clarify though, because it didn't take anything away from Luke Kurtis's moment for the match to end the way that it did.
No, it really didn't. But unfortunately, Tony Gunn fell victim to outside interference from Real One.
I think I think he wants to go by Real One, but nobody, even people in OVW, call him that sometimes.
Yeah, not really.
He's the former Enzo Amore, of course. If you're new to the program or new to OVW or new to what he's been doing ever since he blew his career completely off the rails.
I thought he was Muscles Marinara, because doesn't he have the sauce?
Oh, no.
No, that's just one of his. Run down his 5 lines of Tiny Brian.
Okay, let's see.
You got number 1.
Yeah, Muscles Marinara, because I got the sauce.
Isn't there like a how you doing in there?
Well, sure.
Is on the top 5 or no?
We actually, in the arena, heard him say, "A fart is a wish that the butt makes."
I liked that one.
Yeah.
And
I like
that
one.
was like the hallmark part of his mic.
Yes, and
Work this
then he
week.
was like, "When I got out here, there were a lot of butts getting their wishes because it smells like farts."
Yeah.
Because it mostly comes back to cut the crowd.
I
That's what
can't
he said
remember
for it.
off the top of my head, and we've already skipped over his promo from earlier in the
We
night.
went
But
and saw his promo earlier in the night.
Why not?
We'll see it on Overdrive.
Oh, well, excuse me, but we called the first two things he was going to say, if you remember right.
Which were...
I can't remember. I was in the middle of that, and you interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
But whatever it was he came out with, his first two one-liners, we called him right off the bat. In addition to me calling this match as soon as that bell rang, I kind of leaned over to you, and I said, I kind of feel like it's a certified kind of night. And you were like, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, I was hopeful. Don't get me wrong. You can, if you go to our social feed, you can actually see the moment where where Luke gets his belt actually put on him and goes and does the kneeling down, and you can hear me in the background, me and Jackman actually screaming for him. So
And I would like to say one thing too. I understand, and I don't know if this was approved by OVW or not. The streamers at the end. I understand the sentiment. If it was approved by OVW, great.
yeah, they were handing them out.
Yeah.
Were they? Okay.
They were.
Fantastic. I was gonna say, don't throw stuff in the ring unless OVW tells you it's cool. That's all I was gonna say.
And I guess they did.
Yeah. So okay, cool. I'm glad you guys saw that because I did.
Yeah, I didn't see Mr. Joe roughing anybody up afterward.
but
when,
yeah, I just
No,
trying to say,
I noticed them handing it out. and
Okay, good.
We
Okay.
actually ended up with a significant chunk of some of that streamer as well.
did?
No,
going to
I
our collection.
I'm
Oh.
actually really glad that they handed them out because that made it made it better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do just unless OVW, unless Joe says it's cool, don't throw stuff in the ring. Just want to say that.
Right.
Eric Cornish will get very upset.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
What's next for newly crowned champion Luke Kurtis here, Ryan Hunt? Well, we know one thing that's next for him. To circle it all back around, Jack Vaughn is the number one contender to the heavyweight championship.
That's true.
He won that privilege at the Squared Circle Expo.
Yeah, this past Saturday, I believe.
So I guess in the instant, it'll be Jack Vaughn and Luke Kurtis.
At
some
a
point,
podcast
yes.
called Double Cross.
Yeah. And then do you think is the championship of Luke Kurtis long for this world, Brian Hunt?
I think he's going to have a decently long run.
I would like for him to.
Although I definitely see a new story, like a really hot angle with Jack Vaughn coming up. But yeah, I feel like it's been a long time coming. It's well deserved.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to be wearing that gold for a good long time. So congratulations, certified.
It was a pleasure to be there.
We are all very proud of you as a podcast.
It was a pleasure to be there. It was a pleasure even for the maybe 15 seconds to talk to Luke Kurtis afterwards on my way out because I was able to get there before the line, but I looked past me and that line was growing. It was long to see Luke Kurtis.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah,
in
was.
place wanted to tell him congratulations. And then of course we know this from we try not to get into personal stuff too much on here, because we do hear some stuff that maybe regular fans don't hear. But we all know this from the Netflix series. Layla and Luke are champions at the same time.
Yeah,
In the
that's
same
true.
company.
The ultimate power couple.
Yeah. And at the end of the night, getting to see how happy Luke was, getting to see how revered Luke was by the crowd, and then getting to see him stand next to his, I assume they're not married yet, are they?
No,
No,
I don't
we
think
just
so.
Still engaged, his the love of his life, sitting there double champions or champions, same promotion at the same time. I couldn't imagine it getting much better if you're Luke Kurtis right now.
Yeah, I mean, to take from The Office, this is their good old days.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they realize that they are in the middle of the good old days. Both of them wearing gold in OVW at the top of the promotion. And enjoy it while you can, because there's always going to be somebody chasing after you.
Yeah, no, seriously. Now, me and you both wanted to see Luke Kurtis win. We got our wish. Now there's just one other guy I can think of this week that I'll be very, very, very happy if I can come back on this feed next week and report that he is also a champion. Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania, baby. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
The OVW podcast, the 10th Carney Award-nominated unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling, is produced by Black Light Moon Productions at Nut House Studios in Lexington, Kentucky. The OVW podcast broadcast team is Jack Minogues, me, and Brian Hines.
Holla.
Our studio engineer and editor is Malachi P.S. Woodard. Executive producer is Tiny Brian K. Woodard. Senior producer for The Blimp is Victor Anderson. After watching wrestlers on Netflix, visit ovwpodcast.com/podcasters to find all episodes of our unofficial Wrestlers After Show. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us 5 stars and give us a review. You can also follow us at OVW Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and all the way to the Davis Arena. Love you guys.
Wherever you go, there you are.